So the nose, I'm going to swing the nose around over here. I'm going to open the mouth up, nice and big. Draw on the bottom part. Now, okay, at this position here, notice that the shape of the jawline is still staying the same. Okay, because when you're going your teeth are pretty much closed together. Okay, they might be open just slightly. Try doing the sound right now. And hold that position of your mouth and feel with your tongue the inside of your teeth. Okay, in most cases they'll be slightly apart. Okay, instead of right close together. Can you feel that? Okay. Slightly apart, but the distance that your jawline moves between those two positions, so when you're going and then go me, say me. Okay, now feel your teeth. Okay, now clench your teeth together when you go to E, me. Okay, your jaw is not going to move, so put your hand underneath your jawline now and say me. See how there's no movement in your jaw? Okay. So that overall volume down here will not move. What's moving are your lips. So if you put your finger on your lips and you go me, you can obviously feel the difference in your lip position. You're pulling your teeth way back. Me.
How about your muscle over your chin?
Yeah, you can feel that muscle, and it's a tensing right across here where it pulls back because the skin in your lips is pulling the lip back this way, so you're smiling. Okay, that's the position. You can either go up or down. Okay, and it's pulling into the neck. You don't necessarily have to show it in the chin. It depends on how much hair is there. Okay, like on me, you can't see the muscles of my chin when I do that. You can see the muscles in my neck when I do it. Okay, but you can't see it on my chin because it's covered in hair. It's the same thing with this character. You're not going to see it because it's covered in hair. You may want to expand that out on your character if they have a pronounced chin.
So my question is, that changing the body too much?
No, there won't be a great deal of difference. I mean, if anything, the area that you would make the difference in your volume would be up here in the cheeks. Okay? Because when you smile, feel your cheek and you smile, see how it pops up your eyes? You can actually feel how it pops up there. Okay, that's where the volume change would take place, is up here in this area. Okay? So you might want to change the shape of the eye slightly. So I'm going from this position here where his eyes are closed. I might want to keep this curvature for the bottom lid as the character opens its eyes. So I'll take this line here, do that, and then open the character's eyes up a little bit. Bring the brow down here. Okay, so the puff is in the cheek. That's where the volume changes because this is the direction that it's moving in, up. And I'll just draw the teeth in. Now over here on this side, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this line here and just curl it around like that, so it's just going to end in open space. What you could do, let's see if we can zoom in on that and have it still remain clear. You can't really see that line, but it's curving up and around like this. You can either take it and connect it all the way in, so it connects and loops up and around up onto the other side of the face, which is up over here, the other part of the smile, or you can just leave it open in space. really up to you as to how you want to treat that. Me, me, me. Of course, he'd have a much deeper voice. Me. You know, the main volume, I'm going to take on the side here, you can see this line right here on the previous drawing, matches up to this line right here on that one. What I'm going to do is on the next one, because he's rotating his head, I'm going to show less of the mane on this side. And now because his face is coming forward, I'm going to do that secondary wave action. So here the curl was coming down this way because the face was moving in this direction like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it in the opposite direction. I'm going to curl it this way. So that goes back to your exercise of the whatever the heck it was, the weed underneath the water, weed wave. So now I'm going to flip all three of them there. Going from the inhale to the me, bring it all the way back to the first one. This is the wide open ah. So in this position, he's going from me to ah. Now the jaw drops wide open here. We're going ah, way down. Pardon me? The rotation is, he's rotating his head as well, yeah. So you can see how the mass is rotated there. So he's really going to open up his mouth. So I'm going to draw on the nose just to give you a better indication of where his head is rotating to. Here's his nose over there. The center line will come down here. So you can see how much it's rotated there?
Is the altitude change like how high is it? No, I don't have the words for it.
Yeah, it's moved up just slightly, but not that much. It's very, very slightly. And I'll draw on the mouth in the wide open position. Ah. That just rotates around over like that. And the mouth opens nice and wide. So I'm still thinking of my perspective, okay? In the back of my head, I'm not drawing any boxes here or anything like that, but that's part of the process. I've got a line coming across here. It goes off to a horizon line that's up here, as you can see by the ellipse. Okay, I've got a horizon line that's somewhere up here. So I've got a vanishing point that's roughly around this position here. So you can see how the jaw works to that point there, the angle of it. Okay. I want to shift this around just a little bit so it still works. Out like that. Now because I'm rotating the head, I'm going to bring the ear around. Actually, I'm just going to move it back just a little bit because it's cropping in a little bit too close there. Bring the ear around like this. But this angle here, this line right here on the bottom and the line on the top, you can see how long they are? I'm going to shorten them up and curl them up like this. And then what I'm going to do is the distance from here to here on the inside of the ear, I'm going to push that further so it's like this. So what I'm doing is I'm rotating the ear as well. And then I'm going to take my line down here, very, very short, like that. It looks like the ear is rotated around. The ear on the opposite side is just going to disappear from view. And then the mane comes down. And I want to show just a little bit of on the opposite side. Remember, when you're drawing something like this, you always draw through the character. So as I've drawn this line here, that line would just continue right up and connect into that line there. Now, so that it's not confusing that this is not all mane here, which it isn't, I'm just going to draw a second line in there. So there's the edge of his cheek on the opposite side, and there's his mane on the other side there. You can see how it rotates around there. Actually, I think I'm going to push that a little bit further. So you see less of the mane and more of his cheek. See how that makes a difference there? It rotates the head around a little bit more. You see less of the mane on the opposite side. Again, I'll just erase down my construction lines here. Now in this character, actually, it looks kind of weird back here. This is where the neck would come out, kind of like that. He's hidden in these other ones here as he's rotating around. He's going meow. And then in the final drawing, we're going to do the ooh. He throws his chin out. Now on this one, there's the tilt in his head. You can see the center line, or the eye line, which was right here. Is now shifted up to this position, like that. Okay, so the head is tilting back slightly. You get more pull on the neck. So the neckline will come out like that. It's like the muscles in the neck are pulling back there, so they're becoming tight. Throw that out. So the nose will also shift up. Go up to that position, and then throw the lips out. This will be the mouth opening. And the jaw coming out here. Now I could, if I wanted to, I could push this even further. This line here. Like that. Might be a little bit better. I think that works a little bit better in perspective as well. I'm losing a little bit of volume on the nose, so I'm just going to extend that down. It's a little bit better, so there's a slight rotation to it again. There's the center line. Pull in the skin. just a little bit off center, so I'm just going to shift it over a little bit here. Position. You know, when he says ooh, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to close his eyes slightly. You've got to just pull the top of the nose up a little bit more to get it more in line with the eyes. And on this side of the face, I'm not going to see any of the mane at all. I'm just going to take it down from the chin here. Just tuft out from the side, right through like that. And again, because the chin is still moving forward in this direction, I've still got the drag down at the bottom here. That might be a little bit too much volume there, so I'm just going to cut it down. It's a little bit better. Now we'll go from the E, Meow. It looks like there's just a little bit more volume in his cheek area than I would really like to have. So I'll just cut this area here down. It also might be his chin is growing a little bit there. Now you can always double check this just by simply placing the drawing right over top of the previous one. This is called, don't tell anybody else I told you this, we did this before, this is a shift and trace thing. Most people don't like this, but it's a very common type thing to double check. So what I've done is I've simply placed the jaw, this line here, right over top of the other one, and I've linked it to this point right here. Okay, so we can do this now, flipping it, you can see how the bottom, see how it's popping a little bit, getting a little bit bigger. So I'll just cut that back a little bit here. Now, the only rule, really, with shift and trace is that it only applies to the area that you're placing the shifting and tracing directly over top of. Now, I can check the volume of the chin because I've lined up the chin positions, okay? But that does not help me now with the eyes, because see how far the eyes are out? Okay? If I want to check the volume on the eyes, then I place the eyes directly over top of each other, like this, and then flip them like that to see what's going on.
So like what are the
Yeah. Yeah, but understand that shifting and tracing simply means that you're double checking the volumes. That's all it means.
where's the negative?
Well, the negative, well, people think it's bad because it can become very mechanical. Like if you rely on it a little bit too much, it can get to the point where you're animating your characters like this. This type of thing. Everything's quite mechanical like that, where you're not getting a flow to the bounce of the character. Okay, it goes back to this original drawing here. I could have taken this original drawing here, shifted and traced everything, and he'd just go meow. You know, it would look very stiff. Okay, so you want to try and get some movement and fluidity. You can double check your volumes and everything, but don't use it as a rule to doing your animation. Use it as a little helpful type thing. So I'm just trimming that down a little bit. I think that works better. Looks a little bit more solid there. And actually flipping those eyes, I noticed that the eyes were shifting. I'm just going to go back and I'm going to redraw the eyes in a little bit closer together. To that position there. Now that's better there. You can see how the eyes are not moving apart. So I'm making sure that all my connection points are still the same. The point back here on the back of the head with this tuft of hair staying relatively the same, so that as the character rotates his head back, see how it looks like everything is rotating around? Okay. On that cranial mass, everything is moving. So let's just take a look at it here from the very beginning. Going from the first drawing, anticipate back into the M, E, O, W. Meow. Just add in that other drawing there. Okay, you can see the movement on the jaw is working, the head is rotating. Tuft of hair on the mane, although it's difficult to see as I'm flipping it here, you can see how it moves. So this is a very, very helpful little exercise for yourselves. Not only animating exercise, but it's good for your character design as well, to see how well your character actually moves. Very, very simple little thing, 6 drawings. You could use each of these drawings in your model sheets as well. Each of them individually could work quite nicely. Okay, but it creates a sense of flow. It makes sure that you know where all your masses are, that the volumes are staying the same, that the ears are rotating properly. Remember what we were talking about before about the ears sliding around? This locks that in, so now you can flip this, and you can flip these 2 drawings if you wanted to, and still see, does that look like it's rotating properly, even though it's not in the proper sequence of things. You can flip each and every one of them to see that the masses are working properly together. Okay. And any deviation or change in it would then allow you to make corrections to your drawings. So I want to encourage you that as you're doing your remaining model sheets, that you try this exercise. I've mentioned it to several of you as we've been looking at this stuff. I want you to get used to doing this type of thing. Okay? Remember that we're dealing with animation, so it's got to follow the same rules as animation. Character design must follow through. Okay? So try that stuff over the March break, and I think you'll find that it'll help you out quite a bit. It'll also make you see whether or not your character is an animatable type character. Like a lot of you, I think, are starting to consider your character designs, having looked at them after the corrections are being made. You're starting to notice things that, oh man, there's no way I'd ever want to animate this character because it's just A, too difficult, B, it's poorly constructed, various things like that. So it's a good stop check for yourselves to make sure that you're not doing the right or the wrong thing. Okay? Are there any questions?